All right, welcome. Let's talk about TMUX today. And why am I talking about TMUX? Okay. Sometimes you would want to do multiple tasks in a terminal, and you would be searching for starting multiple terminals directly from here. Okay, TMUX gives you option to split your screen into multiple panes, and hence it becomes a lot more easier, especially when you get into Docker and Kubernetes. You'll appreciate that you got to learn this. Okay, and I'm bringing this early in your learning. The reason is it's not easy to adapt to it later in your career. For example, no matter how much I say, I'm not used to TMUX. So I do not feel very comfortable using TMUX because I haven't used TMUX my own self. But do I see there's a power in it? Definitely I do. Okay. So the way to start TMUX is very simple. You do TMUX and you'll see that you'll come up with this green belt over here, which shows that this is TMUX. All of the commands in TMUX are pretty simple. You just do Control B, and then if I type something over here, type something over here, type something over here, it's directly at the terminal. But if I want it to be considered as a command, what I need to do is I have to press Control B, and then if I have to split. So this is vertical splitting, right? Top and bottom. If I want to do horizontal splitting, left to right, and since I'm over here, if I want to exit, I can do a Control B X to close. Okay. Control B and the percentage sign will have horizontal splitting. Do you guys see the horizontal splitting?
Yes.
If I say clear, it's clear over here. If I want to come to the left pane, I can do Control B and left arrow key. I come over here and I can say whatever I want to say over here to show the time, right? And then I'll say escape. Control B T, Q also will work. Okay. So I'll repeat again. If I want to split this screen in top and a bottom in a vertical fashion, it'll be Control B, double quotes. Okay, now I want to navigate from here to here to here. I can do Control B, left arrow key will take me over here, right? Because it was left arrow key. If I would put right also, it'll come over here. If I put Control B, left arrow key, it'll come over here. Control B, up arrow key will take me over here. Similarly, Control B, right arrow key will take me over here. Control B, left arrow key will take me here. Control B, up arrow key will take me here. Are you guys following what I'm doing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If I want to only zoom in into this one over here while letting the others stay where they are, I can do Control B, Z, zoom in. Okay, and now this whole screen becomes my screen. If I want to go back to the original split screen, I'll do Control B, Z again to go back where I was. There are a lot more commands, but I think this few commands that I showed you are good enough for you. Okay, this another one, Control B T, I already showed you to show you the time. Q is to come out any given time. Control B question mark is a nice one over here. Okay, and instead of running it over here, I'll try and run it over here because then it'll become easier. So I'll say Q over here to come out. I'll do Control B, right arrow key to go over here. And I'll say Control B question mark, show me all the commands. So you can actually see over here, the bind key is Control B. Okay. You can go and read as you want if you really like it. Mouse down one pane, mouse down, drag one pane, so on and so forth, right? There's a lot actually what you have over here. You want to copy something, paste something. It's not easy to read through this sometimes, but once you actually go through the cheat sheets for TMUX, you will only want to use some commands that you're most comfortable with. Okay, see this resize pane is Z that they're showing. It's not showing up in a very nice format actually. So let me do a Control B, Z, zoom in. So if you see now, So you want to go to a specific window. You want to start a session. Session also is a good one, but I don't want to start with that right now. Session is, let's say if you're on a on a machine and you want to start a process that should run for a long time, you can start a session, close your laptop, take it home, and then open it again and then attach to the session. The session will still be active. So you don't have to worry about all that right now. So let me quit out from here. Are you following so far what I did?
Yes,
You'll have
sir.
to
Yes, sir.
just play
Yes,
with
sir.
it a little bit to feel comfortable about it. Okay. So I'll close this window here. So Control B X, and down here it asks me, do you want to close? Say yes. Control B X. Yes, I've closed. Now I just have one window. Okay. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of shell scripting because we've talked about shell scripting. But what I want to do is I want assurance from you guys that you're really going and practicing, because if you're just coming in this session, sitting over here or watching the recording doesn't really give you any value for this session, because it's as good as you going to Udemy. Why would you come to me? Why don't you just go to Udemy? Right?
Yes, sir. Got
If
it.
you just have to watch my session, I mean, you're not getting any value out of me. The value that you get is by talking to me over here, asking for questions live when you see it. That's the fastest way of learning. Otherwise, why would I even come in this arena? There are better trainers on Udemy, much better trainers than what I am. I would rather give you courses and tell you go do that over there, right? But you know it's not easy. I've sent you all this. The reason I've sent you these courses, this little recordings over here, is just so that you understand when you watch this, it is not as obvious. It is not as easy. You need somebody to tell you the fundamentals, and only then you'll be able to understand them. What I wanted to hear in this session today was that you were not able to understand rebase. You were not able to understand squash. Did everybody really understand?
I didn't understand the squash, to be honest. But rebase, since I've already read a bit of it, and I asked for an example like a month ago. That's how I know what rebase is, but I didn't really understand squash. I wanted to ask in the end.
Okay.
Uh,
Did
yeah.
everybody understand squash and rebase?
So
Uh,
I have confusion with the rebase while I'm doing practically. So I have solved the merge conflicts that were fine, but a rebase it's a little bit confusing.
Okay. Yeah. So that's where the whole point is, right? Many a times when you go through recordings, it is not easy. I'm trying to lay
yes.
foundations for you. So as you climb up the foundations, and eventually when you go to those recordings and see it, you'll be able to reflect because your foundational knowledge is strong. Okay. And that's the reason why I'm telling you, watching my recordings will not give you any value if you do not come in the sessions. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir. We'll do
Yes,
that.
sir.
All right. Let's go and do a little bit of shell scripting today. But before we go to shell scripting, let's play around with some commands of Linux. So you can definitely do this in your Git bash. You don't really need to have WSL and you don't need to be running in Ubuntu, but I would recommend you to be on Ubuntu if possible. You can be any flavor of Linux, but be on Linux if possible. Okay.
I have
first,
a question, Samir.
yeah, go
Do
ahead, please.
people still use TMUX like?
Or every advanced developer will use TMUX.
Okay.
Nobody is mandating you to use TMUX. Will any organization tell you to use TMUX? No, they will not. Okay. It's your preference. I mean, when it comes to VI or Nano, I prefer Nano, but VI is more powerful. I hope I've answered your question, Kushi. Can we move forward?
Yes, Samir, you can just go ahead.
Okay, all right. So let's come here. The first command that I would want you to understand is PWD. PWD is basically asking the terminal, what is my present working directory? PWD, present working directory. Okay. So I'm right now in /home/Samir Sheikh. That's the directory I'm in. I want to list the directory ls minus, just to ls. That'll give you everything under this directory. ls comes with a lot of options. One of the options that I like is to see the permissions and the time. Okay. The size basically and the date. Okay. That's T. You guys are making a note of those commands eventually, right? We will need it. Okay.
Yes.
The other command I showed you two commands up to now, pwd and ls-lrt. ls-lrt is to list the directory. It is similar to dir command in Windows. The next command I would do is I want to make a directory. Let's see where I am. Okay. So let's do a mkdir devops 2024. That will basically create a new directory, make directory, mkdir. That has created a directory over here. I want to jump inside this directory. The command is cd devops 2024. If I want to list the content of this directory, any guesses what will be inside this directory?
Empty.
It will be empty. There's nothing in this directory. Okay. Are you guys following so far?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
good. Right now I'm in DevOps 2024 directory. I want to create a file, an empty file. The command is touch new file. Let's say that's the name of the file .txt. If I do ls-lrt, you'll see new file.txt over here. And since I did a touch, this file doesn't really have any content. So if I do a cat is the next command. Show me the content of new file.
Empty.
There's nothing in the file. Now I want to add something in the file. There are two things what I can do to add something in the file. We will come to vi later. It's a more powerful command. But for now, I will show you nano, new file.txt. It opens up this editor if you see. And there are some commands over here. This carrots that you see is control. Okay, on your Windows machine. Even on Mac OS, it is control, it's not command. So let's say this is my first file, full stop. I want to come out of here. There's this command called control X, if you see. Okay, do a control X. It will say save modified buffer, say Y, yes. Enter. Okay, now if I do a cat new file.txt, there's this content into here. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I've shown you a lot of commands right now. Am I going too fast? I'm going too slow. Do you understand?
No, sir, it's good.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's Bhargav who said no, sir.
Rutvik, sir.
Okay, good. Rutvik said no, sir, then
Yeah.
I'm happy about it because if Bhargav says, Bhargav already knows all of this. So he'll follow. If Rutvik follows, I think I think everybody else follows, right? Because
Yes.
Rutvik is brand new to this.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Rutvik, are you brand new to this? Have you done this before? Sorry about that. I didn't know.
No, sir, I haven't not done this.
Okay, good. All right. Now let's do something interesting. Okay. I want to see redirections. So what I can do here is I can do echo and say hello world. Echo will just print. It's like print command in Python, right? Or system.out.println in Java. So it'll just print hello world. Just hello world printing doesn't really do anything for me, right? It just prints it on the screen. What I want to do is I want to append this to the end of the file, this file. So I'll bring up echo command over here and I'll route it. If I say just single angle bracket, it'll override this file. If I say double, it'll append. And now if I do a cat, you see this hello world. But if I would do a single angle bracket, it'll override. Gone. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
guys with me so far?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
If I do date, it'll show me the date. Okay. Now what we will do is we will see the power of shell scripting. I will write something over here. Create a folder named test. Create a file named test.txt inside test. Write hello world in test/test.txt. Okay. You guys here?
Yes.
Give me the commands.
Yes.
Is it Kushika who said yes?
Shika, yes.
Okay, tell me for first one, what will be the command?
Uh,
Create a folder named test. Okay, time up. Tanmay, what is the command?
mkdir test.
Good. Shoot. Rutvik, what is the command to create a file called test.txt inside test folder?
Touch test.
Read it carefully. Read the question carefully. Read it loud, please, if you can.
So create a file named test.txt inside text.
Mm-hmm.
So
Inside
I
test.
think, so I have to go into test first, like cd test,
Mm-hmm. And
then touch tst dot text.
okay, good. Bhargav, write hello world in test.txt.
Echo, hello world.
Are you connected from some VPN or something, like from Russia or China?
No, it's not. Right?
There's some robotic voice. I mean, is it just me or everybody else is hearing Bhargav's robotic voice?
It's same here, sir.
We
It's
speak
robotic.
with voice.
Just let me check.
Okay, let's keep Bhargav out for now. Kushika, do you know what to do?
echo hello world.
Mhm.
And then the, what do you call that? The double arrow to test slash text.txt. Test.txt.
Okay, so let's quickly run this and see what happens. What is my present working directory? 2024. Inside here, there's no test folder. So I will run this command first. Do ls -lrt. There's a folder here, right? The next command is cd test. So I'm inside cd, inside the test, there's a test.txt folder. Okay. I could have done one more thing. Let me go back. If I didn't want to go inside, okay, what I could have done is I could have done this test.txt being at the root of 2024, and I would have given test over here like this. Okay. So I can do test cat test.txt. There's nothing in there, but file is there. Okay. The last command is echo. Done.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if I have to do
Yes.
the same thing over and over again, will I continue doing this like this? No. Okay. I don't even need to ask. It's a no. So if I want to delete a directory which has files inside it, which is not empty, I have to do rm -rf recurring test. So that folder is gone. Okay. What I will do is now I will create a file. Create dir.sh. Any shell script that you write ends with .sh traditionally. Okay. So I'll do a nano create dir.sh. I'll go in here. So I'll run this exact same commands. for now. But I will add a shebang. Shebang is in C, C++, if you had done, you had probably seen stdio, io.h or whatever that is, right?
Start.
Okay, so I will give hash, sorry, bin/bash. And I'll copy these commands as is. Make dir test, touch, test.txt, echo hello world, test/test.txt. Close it. Now, if I just run, if I try to run, well, let me try to show you. If I see here, this is not an executable file. So if I try to run this file, I cannot really run it. If you really see it, if I type it over here, permission denied. Okay. To change the permission and make it executable, what I have to do is change mode +X, make it executable. And now if I do ls-lrt, you would see there's an X over here. It was not there before, if you see here. Okay. That, and it has turned in green over here. So now this is the executable file. So I'll close this. Before I run that, I will show you there's no test folder over here. Since there's no test folder, there's no test.txt file inside here with hello world written in it. Now I will just run this, create dir.sh. And if I do a ls-lrt, you'll see there's a test folder over here. If I go inside the test folder, you'll see test.txt over here. And if I do a cat of test.txt, you have hello world over here. Magic? Yeah, you like it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now let's do something fancy. I want to be able to control what is the name of this folder. I don't want it to be hard coded. Okay, so first of all, let me remove this test.txt and cat of create dir.sh. I don't want this to be hard coded. This to be hard coded. This to be hard coded. I want, when I'm running this script, I want this name to be taken in as a parameter so that I'm able to create either test or rest or hello or greet or bye, whatever that name is, I will be able to create it. Somebody has to guide me. I don't know how to do that. Can somebody guide me? Anybody knows how to do it? Yeah.
Yeah, Samir, we can pass in arguments.
Shungma, tell me. I'll type it out. Tell me. What?
Dollar symbol and one.
Dollar?
And one.
Mm-hmm.
And their dir name. dir underscore name.
No, dollar is required. Like that?
No, we have to give CD.
Why?
Okay, no need. Just thinking now.
Okay. And now, if I run this, create and call it as Samir, will it work, Bhargav? And now I call this same one and call it as I call this same one and call it as I call again. You see how easy it is now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to do something more interesting in this. I want to also decide the name of the file that is passed to it. Okay, so first of all, let me remove. I want also to decide the name of the file. How do I do that?
One more argument.
And file name.
Works?
Yes.
Okay, I want a good tester over here. I want to break this program. Tell me, how do I break this program?
Not giving any inputs,
Okay,
and
so
running it.
I got errors. I want this error to be fixed. Show me how to fix it. Anybody? No?
Maybe we can use like conditional statement, like if
Okay.
we have inputs, like if we have only director name and
Mhm.
file name, then only we can, then only we need to execute the process, or else we need to return error to the user.
Okay. Over here, if you see, cut and paste. Control K, Control U. Okay.
Okay, Samir.
Did I do Control K or Control X? I don't know what I did. Control C. And I don't want to do equals X. I want to do not equals to X. I'll explain to you what that means. If it is not equals to X, that means it is equals to X. That means it's empty. This is empty. You want to just do echo. dir name is mandatory parameter at position 1. Similarly, if it's the file also comes as empty, then you'll say else echo file name is mandatory meter at position 2, right? File name is position 2, dir name is position 1. Anybody has difficulty reading this program, please tell me.
No, sir.
Okay, good. So Control X, come out, enter, and let's run the same command, okay? This command. What it is saying, dir name is mandatory parameter at position 1. Just want to make Samir is RF, nice RF, Samir. This time I'm going to pass the dir name, Samir, but I'm not going to pass the file name. What is it saying? File name is mandatory parameter as position 2. Let's call it as test dot, or let's call it as greet.txt. Works?
Yes, sir.
Can we make it a little more better? Of course we can. I want you guys first to tell me that you understand this concept that I've shown you. This is foundational concept of starting to automate anything in your life. Any questions here?
So what if we pass 3 arguments, like 3 parameters? Will
3,
it, yeah, will it like leave that or just
it'll
give
just
an
leave
error?
it. It'll just leave it, but it'll say the file exists. If you see that, cannot create directory, file exist. So I want you to handle this situation also. This is not because of your test. If I remove rm, it is rf Samir, and run it with 3 arguments, it'll work. See, it works. So it is not because of the third argument. It is failing because Samir folder already exists. I want to handle that situation also. How do I handle it?
Check if we already have a file name Samir also.
Yeah, so dir name not equals to x will come here, right? Before you can do anything with the file, you want to do something with the dir. So you want to do if dollar
$dir name
mhm, what?
equal to something.
No, if minus d, if it's a directory, if it directory exists, then you want to exit from here itself. See that? Directory already exists. Okay. But let's say our requirement is if the directory exists, do not create it. But at least but do not forget to create a file inside it. That's a requirement. How will you take care of that requirement? Right now, what we're doing is if the directory name is not empty, we are checking if the directory exists. If the directory exists, we are saying directory already exists and we come out of it. But we want to actually go ahead and create a file name, the file. How would you do it? Okay, I'm not going to write that program right now. It's easy. Okay, I want you guys to attempt it. But what I really want you to take away from here, from today's session, is programming is not difficult. When you look at somebody's code in this form, you feel it's difficult. But if you start from where we started, you remember we started from these 3 things,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
right? And we built on top of it saying, okay, this requirement is there, then this requirement is there, then this requirement is there. But you start writing the program in a way that you're able to, right now, if I have to do that condition, what I'm saying, I will have to repeat these 3 things again. I will not repeat it. I will create a concept called function concept. Okay, I will show you that. Don't worry. I'm not going to leave you with a difficult problem. I will show you. But what I'm trying to show you as I'm moving forward is program, when it looked at it from a different perspective, you feel it's a difficult, I can't follow it. It's what the hell is this? What are they trying to do? But when you really figure out what is the most important thing that the programming is doing, that's where you want to start and then start boiling up as to what else they're doing. This is all noise. You see this here? It's noise. You see this here? It's noise. You see all of this here? It's noise. The only important thing is this. You have to identify what is that. Only then you'll be able to like programming. Otherwise, you'll not like. I enjoy doing programming. I like to write my program in a way that nobody can break it. Irrespective of what you try, you should not be able to break it. That's the challenge. Being my students over here today, I want to put you up into that same arena and say, when you write a program, you should write in a way that you check each and everything before giving it to somebody else saying, go test my program. You don't just write to make happy flows work. You also check exceptional flows. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do something silly over here right now. Let's write a function over here. I will just say hello, okay? I've forgotten how to write function. I'm thinking this is the way. These are the way, this is the way to comment it, okay? I'm commenting out. And line number 31, what happened to line number 31? It's all commented out code. Why would you, let's say, yeah, good. So now go here, go here. You need to start with some word. You know, let's go back. Doesn't seem to be wrong here. It's this. See that? Okay. So you have a function that works. What I want to do in this function is I want to take the folder name and file name. What I want to do first one is process or execute. Let's call it as execute. Execute will take these two things. Control K, Control U. Okay, guys with me? And then this whole thing. Okay. You guys are following, right? Or am I programming myself? Am I teaching it to myself or am I teaching you?
No, sir, we are
Yeah,
following
follow.
you. We are following. We are following.
I've had people in my past life coming in and telling me they enjoy looking at my screen when I do this stuff because they feel I'm doing some metrics. I don't know whether you feel that thing too, but I want you to understand more than feeling I'm doing some metric over here. Okay, all right. So let's put this program in scope first. Let's put this guy in there. This is fine. If else, which else was this guy? Oh, okay. Okay, I have this. What I'm going to do is run it in the current form, how it is, and then start refactoring it. Okay, help me. Even though I'm passing a dir name over here, it is saying
Yeah.
dir name is mandatory at position 1. Help me resolve this problem.
It should show position 2.
Tell me, why is this a problem? $1, $2. If dir name is this, then this. If dir name already exists, then it should give me this. If file name oh, you need to pass it here. Okay. File name is mandatory. Works? The program works as is?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's go in here. I told you I want to solve for if the dir already exists. I want to just make sure that the file also exists. If the file does not exist, I want to create the file with this content. Okay, that is the requirement. How do I deal with it? To be able to deal with it, what I will first do is I will create a function called create file. Usually you don't write it this way, write it this way, and you put underscore. Okay. And to create file, I'll also put the dir name and file name because I need to know where to create it. Okay. Copy. Is there a copy over here? I don't know. It doesn't look like there's a copy, but I can do funny thing over here, which is control K, control U, and let's see if control U works over here. Yes. And now what I want to do is I have a dir name, I have a file name. I want to, they have already made a check where the file is required. So I would do one thing actually. I would not take dir name and file name. What I will take is file path. Okay. Instead of taking both together because somebody has already done a check. There's a folder existing. File path. So I want to do a if check over here. If, then fi. Okay, first let's put over here if minus f is for file. Dollar file path. If file exists, minus f is for if the file exists, minus d is for if the directory exists. If file exists, what we want to do?
Create.
We want to just write inside it. We want to just write inside it, right?
Echo.
This one. Technically, this touch is not even required. Echo will take care of it. Echo hello world into the dollar file path. Else else it's also the same thing. There's no difference. Okay. So I don't even need else. It has to make a directory actually if it does not exist, but we will make a directory and then pass the path. So we don't have to do it inside here. Okay. So I'll create file. I'll keep it very simple as this. Are you guys with me?
Yes.
Okay. So here, if the directory already exists, we don't want to echo this. We'll refactor it to make it a lot more better. Okay, but let's get the boilerplate working first. Create file. That's the parameter 1 that we're passing over here. You with me? Okay, if we don't need to check file name not exist or whatever, we don't need to do all of this. We can, well, we will need this, sorry. We'll need this. We don't need any of this. And inside this, if the file name is not empty, then we want to be able to call. So even this one will require it. Okay, so that's why I said we will need to refactor it. But for now, let's keep it very simple. Okay, let's keep it very simple. Let's remove these guys for now, just so that you don't get confused. What I will do is I will put mkdir, right? Because we have identified the folder does not exist. The folder does not exist. So I'll put a else over here inside this. If the folder exists, then it'll do this. If the folder does not exist, what it will do? It will create that directory.
Right.
Okay. And then it will do a create file. Over here. You guys are with me so far?
Yes.
We will refactor this more further. Okay, so let me not delete this yet. I will leave it here, but I'll keep it like that. Let's come out of it and see what errors we have, and we will debug it. Name is mandatory. Let's give a name. It did not ask for a file name. You saw that, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So there's a problem because there's no way for it to, there's no default value for file name actually. If I go inside Samir, you'll know what I'm talking about. See that? Nothing.
Right.
Okay, so let's go back. Let's do a nano, create dir. Think of it where it goes. It doesn't, it gets a dir name.
Okay.
It comes in here. It tries to call this create file dir name file path is what I'm assuming. Okay, but the file name is empty. There's nothing passed in the
Yeah.
file name. Okay, so what I will do here is I will put it this way. I'll put a colon and I'll say test.txt. And I'll do the same thing. Control C. I'll do the same thing for this guy here. So what is it saying? File name test.txt, syntax error, invalid arithmetic operator .txt. Think of it, what's happening? It doesn't like it. It doesn't like a dot. And this is what I'm guessing, okay? This is what it'll be. I don't know. Okay, so I want you guys to solve for this. We just have 5 minutes, so I don't want to spend time over here now. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to add a default value. So over here, if the value is not passed, if there's no value for file name, the value should be test.txt is what it's saying. So just for the fun of it, what I will do is I'll let it
I
be
think
test.
you need to put it outside the brackets.
No, can't be outside the bracket.
Or maybe we should add.
See that? Cat, Samir, test. It's not there. Let me do this. Echo, dollar, hello. Hello is not there, okay? So it should give empty. If I put this, okay, so this guy doesn't recognize positional characters. Oh, I know.
In the
There has to be a hyphen. I missed it. I always do this. It's not the first time. Always miss this hyphen. Default value is colon hyphen. Why would you not? Why would you not have the test.txt file in there? Okay, good. Let's do some echo statements, okay? Let me clean up some of these things. And I want to know what is the flow of control. Echo directory exists flow. Okay.
Directly doesn't.
Directly. So I want to know what is the flow of control, okay? And this all I'll remove. It's already there, echo statement. So my expectation is since the directory exists, it will go here. It'll go here, directory exist flow, and it'll try to call this create file. So in the create file also, I'll put some echo statement. This could be the problem over here. If file exists, then it'll write. Else, it will not write. That's the problem. That is the bug. So do we want to check if the file path does not exist? Okay, let's do that. Technically, it is the same echo statement for both, but we will. So dir name is Samir, directory exist flow, file path is this. So now let's try to do a cat Samir. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think you're able to read this program now and understand what it's trying to do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One more thing what we can do here is since both statements are the same, we are assuming that the file path exists or the file path does not exist. You're still going to do hello world. Okay. If we wanted to get the path of the file and see if the directory exists, we could have definitely done it to make it more rugged and robust. But I think for now, this program is unbreakable program in this current form. Can you guys think of anything to break this? Let's do something. Let's pass 1 like this if you're thinking and 2 like this. Looks like it doesn't break. It creates a directory called 1 and it'll create a file called 2. There you go. Do you want to use special characters and see?
Yeah, maybe use star.
There's nothing. It didn't error out, but there's nothing. It's taking the past flow. So play around with it is what I would recommend you. But I want to wait over here. Let's stop sharing, stop recording. Where are you?